Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Tab Overload. It's me, your host, Ren, and today we're going to be diving into something I've been so curious about, which is tarot. You've probably seen it on your feed or you've heard people talk about it like it's this mystical thing, but there is just so much more behind the cards. So I brought in someone who really knows her stuff, Jeanette, founder of Wabi Sabi Tarot and Astrology. She's an intuitive tarot reader and spiritual guide, and she's here today to help us understand what tarot actually is, where it even comes from, and how we can use it as a tool for personal guidance in our own lives. So, without further ado, I just want to get into it. Okay. Hey.
Hi.
All right. Okay, just diving right in. Can you share a little bit like who you are and how you first got into tarot?
Yeah, absolutely. So, hi, I'm Jeanette. I run Wabi Sabi Tarot, and I've always been fascinated by tarot. And the way my brother tells it, I got my first deck when I was 7, but I have no recollection. Um, but I got really into it in 2020, which I think is when everyone found their passion projects, right? Like everyone
Yeah.
found their thing because we had time.
Hmm.
And so I had my first daughter in June of 2020, which was like terrible timing for giving birth. Would not recommend. Um, and I ended up having like really bad postpartum depression and
Oh
postpartum
no.
psychosis. And yeah, it also do not recommend. But I started going to tarot readers for like validation.
Hmm.
And it got to a place where I was like, you know what? I can do this myself. And I think we've all had that moment where we're like watching like a baking show and then all of a sudden we're at Michael's and we're like $300 in and we're
Exactly.
buying our own cake. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
But I
Hmm.
was like, I think I can do this. And so I was a teacher at the time. I had a tarot reader be like, you know what, girl, you're not supposed to be a teacher. And so I quit. I mean, that was not the only factor, but like I quit
Yeah.
teaching, went to the corporate world and had so much more time and
Hmm.
more money. And so I got myself tarot reading lessons from a reader I had gone
Oh.
to. And I never meant for it to be a business. I never meant to do it for other people. It was supposed to be a ritual for myself.
Hmm.
Um, and so one night I was bored and I posted in a Facebook mom group and I was like, does anyone want a free reading? And like, I kid you not, like 200 women replied to me. And I'm a
Oh
Virgo
my God.
rising. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a
So
Virgo
I'm a Virgo
sign.
rising. And so I did all 200 of these. I did
Oh
all the readings. And because I'm a Virgo rising, I had a spreadsheet and I color coded everyone's like response. Like, did they resonate with this? Right. And so like I looked at the data and I was like, oh my gosh, like it's not just me. Like people are getting this.
yeah.
And then I started having people be like, can you do parties? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I was like, you know what? We're gonna ball. We're gonna do it.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my God, that is so cool. Like, I love that turn, just from you, hey, who wants a free reading? And then you built a business off of that because you were like, oh wait, this is clicking with people.
Yeah. And I think that's like the way the best businesses are built, right? Like
Yeah.
accidentally, maybe.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh my, wait, so was there a moment or maybe an experience that confirmed that you were intuitive?
I think that, I think we're all intuitive, right?
Hmm.
I think
I
that
think
we're
so too.
all
Yeah.
incredibly intuitive. I think that we just live in a society that tells us not to listen to that gut
Yep.
and to listen to logic only.
Hmm.
When intuition is very logical, right? Your
Yeah.
gut feeling is there for a reason. But I think that when I started reading for strangers who I did not know their tea, and they were like,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, that resonates." I was like, "Oh, so it's not just an intuition for myself that I can have; it's an intuition
Yeah.
for others."
Oh my gosh. So it just started because you were going through something on your own. And then, this makes sense. You're like, okay, I'm constantly going, I can do this myself and I can do it at any time that I want. That makes sense. And so, even before that, so 2020, take me there. What was it like? You were scrolling, or did you just come across tarot? Was there just curiosity, or was this something deeper there?
Yeah. So I've always been a person who, when they are bored, psychic readings, tarot readings, like that
Hmm.
was my like how I filled my cup. And it was very infrequent. But I think it was just something I came across my I was gonna follow all these tarot start getting readings. Like it was all just very kismet, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I think everything happened in the moment that was supposed to happen for this to occur.
Wow. I love that. And so, okay, you've had your experience, but for like someone who's like totally new, what like and they're like, what are you guys talking about? How would you describe what tarot is and like what it isn't?
Yeah. So I think that when I go to a party or an in-person event, people see me and they're like, wow, you look normal. And I think the thing is, yeah, like the perception of tarot in media is like some lady in some like witchy clothing is going to show up and tell you your fate. And that is
Mm-hmm.
not at all what tarot is, right? Tarot is energy, tarot is vibes, tarot is intuition. But at the end of the day, you have free will, right? It's
Yeah.
like a weather forecast. And so you could ask me, like, hey, should I pursue this relationship? And I could say, okay, the energy here is like, no, no, no. But at the end of the day, you are a human being with free will. And
Yeah.
so the way that I describe tarot to anyone who doesn't know what it is, I'm like, it is just a weather forecast for the current energy. And that energy can change and shift based on your actions. And so it's a really cool tool to use not only to like make decisions, but just to like know what's going on in your subconscious more.
I agree with that. I love like it's a weather forecast. That's exactly what it is, right? And so like how did like all this come about to like everyone's like head? Like do you know like the history of it and like how did people even start using this as a tool for guidance?
Yeah. I think the history of tarot is fascinating because it started in the 1400s in Italy as a card game. It was basically Uno for the 1400s.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it was just a card game. It was a parlor game
Uh-huh.
that people would play, and it didn't get this like intuitive energy about it until it traveled to France in the 1600s, 1500s, 1600s. And then the French were like, let's use this as a tool. And I think that's the thing that's what it is at the end of the day. There are
Mm-hmm.
tarot readers who use a standard playing deck of cards to read,
Yeah.
right? It is just a tool. And the person behind it is the person with the magic of it all. And we all have the magic. And so when it went to France in the 1500s, they started using it as a intuitive tool, something for divination.
Mm-hmm.
And the interesting thing is that there were books published in like the 1700s that started explaining how to do this way. And that's when it kind of took off. And then in the early 1900s, the deck that most people use now, the Rider-Waite
Mm-hmm.
deck, was invented. And the Rider-Waite deck is called the Rider-Waite deck because some man told some woman to color it, like to make it and illustrate it. She was actually named, her last name was Smith. And so there's been like this resurgence of calling the Rider-Waite deck the Rider-Waite-Smith deck to give her credit
Oh.
because she did all the illustration.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give her credit. Give her her
she
flowers.
should. And then it had a resurgence in the US in the 1970s, and it's come back. And it all makes sense astrologically, right? Like, I think that we're at
Mm-hmm.
this big turning space. Last year and this year, all of our generational planets, like the planets that make a huge impact, not only on us as individuals, but like society, have
Yeah.
shifted. And I think that we're waking up to like, oh, maybe there's something that we don't understand. And like science is cool and we love science, but what if it's science and all of our gut feelings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
our people survive for so long on gut feelings.
Yeah.
Who's
Oh
to
my
say we should ignore that?
gosh. Yeah. That is so, I love that you connected it because like I was also gonna ask like how does tarot like connect to these other spiritual practices people have like astrology or like energy
Mhm.
work? Well, energy work I feel like is kind of like intuitively, there, but like
Yeah.
astrology, like how does that like connect?
Yeah. So in my readings, I do a mix of astrology and tarot. And the way that I describe it to my clients is that the astrology is kind of like the science of it, right? It's like I can tell you the exact dates that there's good energy for this. The tarot we add in as like, here's the vibes. You go and like make soup out of this.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. And I'm just like, whenever I hear this, like I've like never fully did it. And trust, I will be getting a reading with you, by the way. But like, I feel like I like when I hear these things, I'm like, why is no one using this? Like, this is crazy that we have like this right in front of us and this path, like it will tell you everything that you need to know essentially. And no one uses it. Well, not no one, but like a lot of
Yeah.
people
And
don't.
a lot of people don't believe in it. And the way that I think about it is like, I have no clue how you and I'm able to see right now on Zoom, we're recording this. I don't know the nitty gritty. I don't know the details of it, but I trust that it works.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of the same thing. I don't need to know the coding behind Zoom to understand it, that this
Yes.
is technology that works. I don't
Hmm.
need to know the coding behind how the universe speaks to me to understand that the universe is speaking to me.
Exactly. And I feel like
Yeah.
a lot of people, they're like, you don't question that. Like you said, you're not questioning the coding of Zoom, but they're going to question this for some reason. And so, what are some like common misconceptions that you hear that people have about tarot?
I think that the most common one is that it is scary because you see in movies where people are like, oh, you're gonna die. Like, if you
Yeah.
ever get a from someone who tells you your life is screwed, please don't go back there. This is supposed to be something that gives you energy and gives you advice and isn't a scare tactic,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So the way that the cards is that we have the major arcana, and the major arcana tells a story of life, and that's the beauty behind tarot. That's why I fell in love with it. Is that there are positive cards and there are cards that are saying, "Hey, you're going to be feeling stuck, feeling like
Yeah.
stagnant, but you can keep pulling cards and know that it's not going to last forever." Right?
Hmm. Hmm.
So I think that this misconception that tarot is going to tell you your future or tell you whether you're doomed or not, I think that's the biggest misconception.
I love that. And I was talking to my sister before this and I was like, what would you want to know like from anyone? And she was like, well, how can I tell if like a reading is authentic or like coming from a place of ego? And I've had conversations too, like with my mother-in-law. She said she went to someone and they told her something like crazy, kind of like, that she was like, oh no. And you just hit on it. Like if someone's like, oh, you're gonna, I don't know, die on this day. Like maybe you should not go back to that person or like something like that. But like, what would you say? Like, how can
For
you
sure.
tell like if it's authentic? I'm sure you have a different perception versus like us, like who are getting the reading.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, as a tarot reader myself, like, I go to other tarot readers because, like, I have bias, right? Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to read a situation the way I want to read a situation when it's about me. And so, honestly, I think the biggest thing when you're getting a tarot reading is like, do you vibe with this person? Do you feel like they're authentic? Because, like, these cards are just a tool. Anyone can go buy them, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
But if you, like, I think that when we think about our intuition, like, you have a gut feeling about a person. If
Yeah.
you like them, if you think that they're an honest, good human being, go for it, right?
Hmm.
If you resonate
Hmm.
with that reading, go for it. If there's any kind of like, I think the scare tactics come up a lot, right? Like, I mean, if you go to the car dealership and they're like, if you don't buy this car right now, it's gonna be
Yeah.
$10,000 more. Like, we should not be in the business of that.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Oh, I love that tip. And so you work with so many different energies. How do you like personally prepare your energy and also how do you protect it during like your readings?
Yeah, I think that's something that I've kind of developed over the years. So I was a special education teacher for 7 years.
Hmm.
And when you're a teacher, you have to learn how to protect your energy,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
Like, I would have all kinds of asks of me, and at some point, you need to learn your boundaries and your no's,
Yeah.
and learning to fill your cup up before emptying it out for people. And so, like, just for my rituals, like, I use a lot of candles, I use a lot of saging, I use a lot of like just emotional clearness,
Hmm.
um, to protect myself. But I'm also like, I have no problem with telling, like, I have no problem with boundaries saying, like, hey, I cannot read for you anymore.
Yeah.
Like, and there are situations that come up like that. And I think that that's an important boundary to have as well.
Wow. I love that. That's like so strong of you. I feel like I'm like a pushover. I would be like, okay, I'll just do it. Oh
I
my God.
think that when you're thinking about things from a scarcity mindset, right? You're like, I can't lose any clients.
Yeah. It's
You know what
all
I
about
mean?
the energy you create.
Yeah.
Hmm. What's like what one of like the most memorable readings you've ever given or like one that really stuck with you?
There's so many. There's so many. Um, I remember I was doing a girls' night for this group of friends, and one of their friends was moving away. And I just remember them like, I think the most memorable ones are when I get to do a girls' night. Because I
Hmm.
get to like be in a girl group for a few hours and see like this
Yeah.
love and friendship amongst friends and like see these readings come out where they're all like, yeah, that's totally you. Like that makes
Hmm.
so much sense. And so I can't name like a single reading, but anytime I do a girls' night, I just feel so like it's like I get to be in Sex and the City for a different season.
Yeah, it's such like good feminine vibes. I feel like I could totally see that. How do you set boundaries if a family member or like a friend wants you to do a reading, do you like ever come across like situations like that? Or are you like do you do them or are you like I don't know?
No, honestly, a lot of my friends like aren't into this. Like I don't get a lot of my family would never ask me for a reading.
hmm
Most of my friends wouldn't. And honestly, if you're a person who I know doesn't believe in this, I'm not reading for you.
Yeah, exactly. And that makes sense. That completely makes sense.
Because you need to be open to this energy for you to receive it. And so, like, yeah, you're
hmm
gonna get a not so great reading if you're not actually into this. The same way,
Right.
like, I don't like animals. I'm never gonna have a good time at an aquarium.
Exactly. And like, I mean, some people just, it's not for them. Like, but like, is there anything like you wish like people could actually understand like about intuitive gifts?
I wish people would understand that everyone has them.
Yeah.
I wish people would understand that your gut feelings are not there for no reason.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I wish people understood that I think that there's another misconception that this is like voodoo or like dark magic or
Yeah.
like negative. And I wish people knew that a lot of us are just out here trying to like give you energy and hope and like reclaiming your power.
Yeah. I love that. And that's so beautiful. And so you said you had a daughter in 2020, is that what you said?
Yes.
How does this like go into account with how you raised her?
So her name is Luna, so she's automatically like super, you know what I
hmm
mean? And like that was that like her name has nothing to do with this world because I fell into
Yeah.
this after her. She was named after Luna Lovegood,
Oh,
in Harry Potter. Because I hope that she questions things and wonders things and has her head in the clouds.
that is so
Um,
cute.
yeah. But and in terms of how I raise my kids, like I hope that they understand that there's more to this world than they will ever understand.
Yes, yes.
And that
That's
it's very arrogant
so
of us to
true.
think that we know even a smidge of what is happening in this world.
I know they haven't even discovered more than 5% of the ocean.
Yeah, like who knows? Anything
Yeah.
is possible. And I think that the other thing that I hope my kids get from this is that, like, yes, I have a normal, like, boring job because we all need health insurance. But, like,
hmm
if you care, go do it. If
Yeah.
it's a passion project, go do it. And like that's very important to me as a mom because I feel like um, moms from our generation, we see them as like hustlers and like doing what they need to do to get food on the table and all of these things. And I don't know what my mom's hobbies are,
Yeah.
right? I want my kids to know that like if you're passionate about something, it's worth pursuing.
hmm Yeah. I think that's so true. Like you just struck something in me and I'm like, wait, what are my mom's hobbies? Like I don't know.
Right?
And it's just like not something that we would see growing up. And I love that it is something you are creating outside of like, hey, mom's just like going to work, like her corporate job, and then like coming home. Like you have this outside of that, and that's so cool.
Yeah, so I hope that's what they get out of this, and I hope that they like use tarot. We do it every day before school. We've kind of lacked a little bit,
Uh-huh.
um, but interestingly enough, her like tarot cards are always like, "Listen to your teacher, please." She's like, "I got that message again."
Did she try it all, like to like do it herself and like pick up the
Oh
energy
yeah,
herself? Oh,
oh
I
yeah,
love that.
yeah. She has a crystal collection. She like your kids are little mirrors of you. Like
hmm
she. So I do stand up as well, like for funsies, and like she'll do little stand up shows for me. So it's so fun to see yourself in like a little creature that looks like you.
Yeah, that's so cute. And it's like so cool that she like gets to grow up in that environment. I love that. And so like, okay, I see how you operate like as a mom now. It's so cute and like I love it. But like going back to you, because you're your own person, like how has tarot changed your own relationship with yourself?
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing is like it's given me confidence in myself.
Yeah.
It's given me confidence in myself and it's given me the understanding that yes, hard times will happen because that is life. But,
hmm
you know, tomorrow I might pick the magician as my
Yeah.
card. And like there's magic in that. And I think it's also just made me like I grew up very much very like practical, very like type A, and it's given me the ability to think creatively and to
Hmm.
believe in magic in life again.
Exactly. I feel like a lot of people, when they first, or if they are discovering this and if they are listening to this and they're like, oh, this sounds so great. But have there ever been any moments where you're like, this, you feel like you're at a wall with it?
Yeah, yeah. I think I hit a
Hmm.
wall this past summer. I took a month off of everything.
Oh.
And I think that's another thing that like tarot let me do because I'm the most stubborn human being you will ever meet. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it, even if it takes all of me.
Hmm.
And there are cards in the tarot deck that are like, hey, rest,
Yeah.
right? And I kept
Hmm.
getting these rest cards, and I was like, okay, like I need to rest. Like I'm hitting a wall with following, I'm hitting a wall with like bookings. Like maybe this is my sign from the universe to take a step back. And so I took a step back
Hmm.
and came back after Virgo season. I was like, okay, like I'm re-energized, like let's go. And sometimes that's all you need is to take a step back for a little bit.
Exactly. That's so true. And like, so because it's so personal to you, but it's also a business, is it like, is there ever a point where you find it like hard to like separate the two? Or you say you're good with your boundaries, so I find that hard to believe that you would have like that hard time because when you say like you took a moment to rest, so does that mean you're resting personally or just like for the business?
Yeah, I think it was mostly the business, right?
Hmm.
But I also was focusing on myself too. And I think that I have really good boundaries with the business now because I'm confident in myself. And I think that at the beginning, right, whenever you're starting to do something, you're like, yes, I will do this event and I'll do that event and I don't care what you pay
Yeah.
me. And I don't care if I'm home at 2 a.m. And like now
Hmm.
I have very strict boundaries for myself. And I think that if there was like any advice I would give anyone who's looking to go into this is like one thing is a lot of people are willing to do a lot of free readings,
Hmm.
but like your energy is worth something, right?
Yes. Hmm.
And I think that's like one of the biggest lessons that I've learned over the last few years doing this.
That's so cool. And I like I'm curious because I feel like we've talked a lot about like okay, you pull your cards like in the beginning of the day and like you'll do it with your kids too and like can you use tarot for like long term too or is it really just like short term?
No, absolutely. You could totally use it in long term. And like long term can mean whatever you want it to be, right? Like a long term
Yeah.
can be a year, a long term can be 10 years. I think that the way that you ask the question can really help too. Like, if I keep going at this rate, or if I keep making decisions the way that I am, what will this look like in 10 years, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
And I also like pulling a lot of questions with like this situation, or this situation. So if I keep doing it this way, what will it look like in 10 years? If I pivot and do this, what will that look like in 10 years? And that's
Yeah.
really helpful.
Oh, that's so cool. Oh, I love all this. This is like so cool to me. I feel like I'm geeking out because this is really is like one of my like interests. And so for anyone who's listening and who's like, okay, I'm gonna go buy me, I'm inspired. I'm inspired to like go get a deck or anything and like dive into this. What advice would you give to them?
Oh, for the love of God, please just get the regular deck. Please, please. I know there are so many cute, fun, whimsical decks, but please
Hmm.
just get the standard deck, the one that everyone has, the boring deck, because the way that I look at it is like this deck, it's like if you want to go learn Chinese, right? You would not start with some random dialect. You would
Right.
start with probably Mandarin. And so I think of the standard deck as the Mandarin of
Hmm.
tarot language. All of the other decks are based on this deck. All of the symbols that you need to learn, all the colors, all the numerology are based on this deck. And when you learn this deck, then you can go play with the fun ones. If you start
Hmm.
with one of those fun ones, you might master it one day, but it's going to be so much harder.
That makes so much sense. That makes a lot of sense. And like if someone wanted to go buy it, I feel like there's a lot of like hesitation to, like if someone's like, I'm gonna buy a tarot deck on Amazon, like no one like wants to do that. So like where would you recommend like anyone go get theirs?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the other things, there's a lot of gatekeeping in tarot where there's like rules about like you need to be gifted your first deck. No.
Hmm.
Like go buy yourself whatever, right?
Yeah.
Um, I think that if you want to make it something really special, go to one of the boutiques. Like they're all over, right?
Hmm.
But if you also are like, I am just a busy mom who wants to get a tarot deck, girl, go on Amazon. Go do it. Go do you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, let's not make this a complex, complicated kind of thing. And I think
Hmm.
that's the other thing is that, like, you'll see a lot of people on TikTok or Instagram or whatever complicating the whole thing. It doesn't have to be. Like, you
Yeah.
can pull a card for yourself once a week. And as long as you're consistent and you have a practice and it's sacred to you, I don't care. No one
Yeah.
cares. It's yours.
Exactly. And I feel like what I'm getting from you is like there are no rules to this. It's
Yeah,
really just up to you and how you want to operate with it and like create it for yourself.
exactly. And I think that people, not just in tarot, but in life, people want to overcomplicate things for the sake of
Yeah.
overcomplication.
Hmm.
Like, keep it simple and keep it special.
Oh, that is so nice. And okay, last question I'll ask is like if someone say they got the deck, it's their first
Mhm.
time, they're just sitting at their table or whatever. Any recommendations for them from there?
Absolutely. So, when I teach tarot lessons or like tarot workshops, I get so many questions like, what do I do? And again, like, we go back to simplicity. Like, make it something that is part of your routine. So, if you are a parent, maybe it's the end of the day, right? Because, like,
Yeah.
Lord knows that my mornings are chaotic, but make it something that you know that you can stick to. And so, ask yourself the question of what do I need to know to start my day? Or what was my lesson for the day? And make it something
Oh.
that's just consistent. My other advice would be like have a note on your phone and write down what cards you're pulling because patterns are everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you are pulling a ton of wands, right? Wands are about creativity, they're fire sign cards.
Mm-hmm.
What is the universe trying to tell you? Like, are you supposed to be pursuing more creativity, right? If
Yeah.
you're pulling more pentacles, pentacles are about work and like physical material items you have. Maybe you're supposed to be leveling up in your career. And so I think that these like patterns the universe wants us to see can show up so easily and so beautifully in tarot.
That's such a good tip. That's awesome. Oh my gosh, this conversation's been awesome. And like so anyone listening to this, what's one thing like you would want them to take away? Like if there's any like that one thing that stuck with them, what would you hope that that is?
That's so hard. I don't know how to shut up. So, let's see. Trust your gut. Trust your gut. And
Hmm.
and do things that you care about even if no one else cares.
Yeah. Ugh, that's so powerful. It's so small, but it's really powerful. And I don't think enough people do it.
They don't.
Well, thank you so much. This is like so helpful. Like I know like I've had so much interest in it and I know other people do and like you said like it feels like a phase that goes away and then it pops back up and astrologically like it makes sense like why it
Mhm.
does come up again. And so I know a lot of people are probably like in that phase of like what is this? Like how do I get into this? So this has been like so helpful.
So glad. I hope it inspires someone to like get a deck or a reading or whatever.
I know. And so, where can people find you to get a reading? Because you are local to Chicago, correct?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
Hmm.
People can find me on Instagram, wabi.sabi.tarot. And they can just send me a message because I'm really bad at keeping my Calendly updated.
Perfect. And do you do like virtual too if anyone's not located in Chicago?
Yeah, so I do virtual Zoom readings for tarot and astrology, or a little bit of both. I do emailed readings for both, and I do a lot of like girls' nights, which are really fun. So yeah,
Oh, I love it. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
thank you. It was so much fun.
And that is a wrap on the latest episode of Tab Overload. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in, and especially to Jeanette for coming on and sharing all of this lovely guidance with us. Be sure to like and subscribe for more conversations like this and follow Jeanette everywhere she is.